Have you ever wondered why you feel like a coward in situations where others seem fearlessly confident, yet somehow you keep finding the strength to face challenges that would completely overwhelm most people? Before we explore Carl Jung's revolutionary discovery about the hidden form of bravery that lives inside intuitive personalities, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. What you're about to learn will completely transform how you see your own courage and show you why your quiet strength is actually the rarest form of bravery in existence. Carl Jung spent over 5 decades studying human consciousness, and one of his most profound discoveries was that true bravery has nothing to do with the loud, dramatic displays of fearlessness that our culture celebrates. He found that the deepest form of courage belongs to those who are willing to face the inner world with complete honesty, even when that journey leads them through territories that most people would never dare to explore. This discovery is absolutely crucial for you because you've probably spent your entire life feeling like you're not brave enough for this world. You've likely been told that you're too sensitive, too cautious, too thoughtful, or too hesitant. You've watched others charge boldly into situations while you hang back, analyzing, feeling, and considering all the complexities that they seem to ignore completely. But Jung understood something that most people still don't grasp today. He realized that what looks like hesitation or fear in intuitive personalities is actually a sophisticated form of courage that operates on completely different principles than conventional bravery. You're not lacking courage. You're expressing a type of bravery that's so rare and advanced that most people can't even recognize it. Think about this for a moment. While others avoid difficult emotions, uncomfortable truths, and complex realities, you willingly dive into the depths of human experience. While they distract themselves with surface-level activities and shallow conversations, you're constantly exploring the meaning behind everything, questioning assumptions, and seeking authentic understanding. This isn't weakness or overthinking. This is what Jung called psychological courage, the willingness to face reality in all its complexity and intensity, even when that reality is painful, confusing, or overwhelming. Most people spend enormous amounts of energy avoiding the very territories that you explore daily. Jung discovered that this type of inner bravery serves crucial functions that benefit not just the individual, but society as a whole. People with psychological courage become the truth-tellers, the meaning-makers, and the emotional pioneers who help humanity understand itself more deeply. Your willingness to face difficult realities makes you invaluable to a world that desperately needs honest insight and authentic understanding. But Jung also understood why this form of courage often goes unrecognized and unappreciated. Our culture has a very narrow definition of bravery that focuses almost exclusively on external physical displays of fearlessness. We celebrate the warrior charging into battle, the entrepreneur taking financial risks, or the performer facing a crowd. These are certainly valid forms of courage, but they represent only a small fraction of what true bravery actually encompasses. The type of courage that intuitive personalities possess operates in the internal realm, where the battles are fought against self-deception, meaninglessness, and emotional avoidance. These battles are invisible to outside observers, which means your victories often go unnoticed and your struggles are frequently misunderstood. When you spend hours processing a difficult conversation, you're not being oversensitive. You're being brave enough to extract every possible lesson and insight from the experience. When you hesitate before making important decisions, you're not being indecisive. You're being courageous enough to consider all the implications and consequences that others ignore. When you feel overwhelmed by the complexity of human relationships, you're not being weak. You're being brave enough to perceive and care about nuances and dynamics that most people never even notice. Your sensitivity isn't a character flaw. It's evidence of your willingness to remain open and responsive to reality, even when that openness makes you vulnerable. Jung called this vulnerable courage, the bravery required to maintain an open heart and an honest mind in a world that often rewards cynicism, superficiality, and emotional numbness. This type of courage requires enormous strength because it means choosing to feel everything, understand everything, and care about everything, even when that choice brings pain and difficulty. Consider how much courage it takes to be authentic in a world that constantly pressures you to conform. While others wear masks and play roles to fit in and avoid conflict, you're constantly struggling to express your true self, even when that authenticity makes others uncomfortable or confused. This commitment to genuineness requires a level of bravery that most people never develop. Think about the courage required to maintain hope and idealism in a world that often seems dark and disappointing. While others become cynical or apathetic as a form of self-protection, you continue believing in the possibility of beauty, meaning, and positive change. This optimistic courage keeps you fighting for values and visions that others have given up on. Jung also recognized the tremendous bravery involved in your willingness to be alone with your thoughts and feelings. While most people fill every moment with distractions, entertainment, and social stimulation to avoid confronting their inner world, you regularly spend time in solitude, reflecting, processing, and exploring the depths of your own consciousness. This solitary courage allows you to develop self-knowledge and inner wisdom that people who constantly avoid themselves never achieve. Your willingness to face your own shadows, contradictions, and complexities makes you far more self-aware and emotionally mature than individuals who only know themselves through external validation and social feedback. The courage you demonstrate in your relationships is equally remarkable. While others maintain superficial connections to avoid vulnerability and potential hurt, you're constantly seeking deeper understanding and authentic connection. You're willing to have difficult conversations, explore uncomfortable truths, and risk rejection in pursuit of genuine intimacy and mutual understanding. This relational courage makes you an extraordinary friend, partner, and family member, even though it also makes relationships more challenging and emotionally demanding for you. Your refusal to settle for surface-level connections requires enormous bravery, because it means constantly risking disappointment and misunderstanding. Jung understood that your intellectual courage is just as significant as your emotional bravery. While others accept conventional wisdom and popular opinions without question, you're constantly challenging assumptions, exploring alternative perspectives, and seeking deeper truth. You're willing to think thoughts that others find disturbing or uncomfortable, and you're brave enough to follow ideas wherever they lead, even when they challenge everything you previously believed. This intellectual honesty requires tremendous courage because it means living with uncertainty, complexity, and constant questioning rather than the comfort of simple answers and unexamined beliefs. Your mind refuses to accept easy explanations when reality is clearly more nuanced and complicated. The creative courage that many intuitive personalities possess is equally remarkable. You're willing to express ideas, visions, and insights that others might find strange, impractical, or threatening. You're brave enough to share your inner world through art, writing, or other forms of creative expression, even when you risk being misunderstood or criticized. This creative bravery contributes enormously to human culture and understanding. The artists, writers, philosophers, and innovators who have shaped our world were often individuals who possessed this type of quiet courage, the willingness to explore and express truths that others were too afraid to acknowledge or share. Jung also discovered that intuitive personalities often demonstrate what he called moral courage, the willingness to stand up for principles and values even when doing so is inconvenient, unpopular, or personally costly. While others compromise their integrity to avoid conflict or gain advantage, you're constantly wrestling with ethical questions and striving to align your actions with your deepest values. This moral bravery often puts you in difficult positions because you can't simply ignore injustice, dishonesty, or cruelty the way others do. Your conscience won't allow you to participate in systems or relationships that violate your fundamental beliefs about how people should treat each other. Jung's research revealed that this hidden form of bravery often develops as a response to early experiences that required you to become psychologically self-reliant. Many intuitive personalities grew up in environments where they couldn't depend on others for emotional support, understanding, or validation. This forced them to develop internal resources and coping mechanisms that became the foundation for their later courage. Instead of being weakened by these early challenges, you developed what Jung called earned courage, bravery that comes from having survived difficult experiences and learned to trust your own inner strength. This type of courage is often more reliable and sustainable than the natural fearlessness that some people are born with, because it's based on proven experience rather than untested confidence. Jung also understood that your hidden bravery often manifests as what he called quiet heroism, the willingness to do what's right and necessary without seeking recognition or reward. While others need external validation and public acknowledgement for their courageous acts, you're constantly performing acts of bravery that no one ever sees or appreciates. You're brave when you choose honesty over convenience in your relationships. You're heroic when you continue pursuing meaning and purpose despite setbacks and disappointments. You're courageous when you maintain your values and integrity even when no one is watching or rewarding you for doing so. This quiet heroism is often invisible to others, which can make you feel unappreciated and misunderstood. But Jung recognized that this type of unsung bravery is actually the most valuable form of courage because it's motivated by internal conviction rather than external reward. Your willingness to do what's right simply because it's right represents the highest form of moral development. Jung discovered that intuitive personalities also possess what he called anticipatory courage, the bravery to prepare for and face challenges before they become unavoidable. While others live in denial about potential problems or difficulties, you're constantly thinking ahead, considering possibilities, and preparing yourself emotionally and practically for various scenarios. This forward-thinking bravery often makes you seem pessimistic or anxious to others, but Jung understood that it's actually a sophisticated form of courage that allows you to handle difficulties more effectively when they arise. Your willingness to acknowledge and prepare for potential challenges is a form of emotional and practical bravery that serves you well throughout your life. The transformational courage that many intuitive personalities demonstrate is equally significant. While others resist change and cling to familiar patterns, even when they're no longer serving them, you're constantly willing to examine your beliefs, behaviors, and assumptions, and make difficult changes when necessary. This willingness to transform yourself requires enormous bravery, because it means letting go of familiar identities and comfortable patterns in favor of growth and authenticity. Most people avoid this type of self-examination because it's uncomfortable and uncertain, but you're constantly engaging in this process of conscious evolution. Jung also recognized that your bravery often manifests as what he called empathetic courage, the willingness to feel and understand the pain, fear, and struggles of others without becoming overwhelmed or shutting down. While most people protect themselves by maintaining emotional distance from others' suffering, you're brave enough to remain open and responsive to the full range of human experience. This empathetic bravery makes you an invaluable source of comfort and understanding for others, but it also requires tremendous emotional strength and resilience. Your willingness to share in others' pain and help carry their burdens represents a form of courage that's both rare and essential for human connection and healing. Jung understood that one of the most challenging aspects of possessing hidden bravery is that it often goes unrecognized by others and even by yourself. Because your courage operates primarily in the internal realm, you might not realize how brave you actually are. You might focus on the moments when you felt afraid or hesitant and overlook all the times when you demonstrated remarkable courage. This is why it's crucial to develop what Jung called courage consciousness, the ability to recognize and appreciate your own bravery. This means acknowledging the courage it takes to be authentic, to feel deeply, to think independently, to maintain hope, and to continue growing and learning throughout your life. Developing courage consciousness also involves recognizing that your type of bravery is different from but equally valuable as the more obvious forms of courage that our culture celebrates. Your willingness to face inner challenges, explore difficult truths, and maintain integrity in complex situations requires just as much strength as any physical or external display of fearlessness. Jung also emphasized the importance of what he called courage community, finding and connecting with others who understand and appreciate your type of bravery. When you're surrounded by people who only recognize external displays of courage, it's easy to feel like you're not brave enough. But when you connect with others who value psychological courage, moral integrity, and authentic expression, you begin to see your own strength more clearly. This doesn't mean you need to surround yourself only with people who are exactly like you. It means finding relationships and communities where your type of courage is recognized, valued, and supported. These connections help you maintain confidence in your own strength and continue developing your unique form of bravery. Jung discovered that hidden bravery often becomes more visible and powerful as people mature and gain life experience. The courage that seemed like weakness or oversensitivity in youth often reveals itself as wisdom and strength in adulthood. The very qualities that made you feel different or inadequate when you were younger become your greatest assets as you learn to understand and express them effectively. This maturation process involves learning to trust your own perceptions and judgments even when others don't understand or agree with them. It means developing confidence in your unique way of processing information and making decisions. It means recognizing that your careful, thoughtful approach to life is a form of bravery, not a form of cowardice. As you continue developing your hidden bravery, you'll likely discover that it becomes a source of strength and guidance that serves you throughout your life. The courage to face difficult truths, maintain authentic relationships, pursue meaningful goals, and continue growing and learning becomes a reliable foundation for navigating whatever challenges life presents. You'll also find that your bravery becomes a gift that you can offer to others who are struggling with their own fears and challenges. Your willingness to be vulnerable, honest, and authentic gives others permission to do the same. Your courage to face difficult realities helps others find the strength to confront their own challenges. Jung's legacy reminds us that true bravery comes in many forms, and the quiet, internal courage that intuitive personalities possess is among the most valuable and necessary types of strength in human experience. Your willingness to face the depths of reality with honesty and openness represents a form of heroism that's desperately needed in our world. So stop questioning whether you're brave enough for this life. Stop comparing your internal courage to others' external displays of fearlessness. Start recognizing that your willingness to feel deeply, think independently, and live authentically represents a form of bravery that's both rare and essential. Your hidden courage isn't a consolation prize for not being conventionally brave. It's a superior form of strength that allows you to navigate life with wisdom, integrity, and authentic purpose. You're not lacking bravery. You're expressing the highest form of courage that human beings are capable of developing. Share in the comments below one way that you've demonstrated hidden bravery in your own life, even if it didn't feel courageous at the time. Your recognition of your own strength might help someone else begin to see their courage more clearly. If this message resonated with you, please share this video with others who might need to understand their quiet strength as the genuine bravery it actually is. And don't forget to subscribe for more content about recognizing and developing your unique psychological gifts. Remember, you don't need to become more conventionally brave. You need to recognize the extraordinary courage you already possess and learn to trust it as the reliable strength it has always been. Your hidden bravery isn't hidden because it's weak. It's hidden because it's so advanced that most people don't even know how to recognize it.